But if that gets put in, he's gonna text me and be like, "What the?"
He's not gonna make it this far.
No, probably not.
Jack Ringenberg Media.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to College Life Unscripted, the mid-season finale.
Yay!
Yeah, if you guys don't know who I am producer Jack.
Jack Ringenberg Media.
Jack Ringenberg Media, yeah. And I'm on the show today, which is so exciting. Thank you for inviting me on, Kayce.
You're so welcome, Jack.
It's funny because I invited myself on because Rihanna wasn't going to be here. So
Rihanna's ill, so that's what she told me.
Ill.
That's what. Oh my God, that's messy as fuck. Ill.
Guys, that was a joke.
Rihanna told me that she didn't feel any good. So
Rihanna, we love you.
We do love you.
Yes.
I offered to do a solo episode anyway, and she's like, no, I'll be there. And then she texted me and was like, I don't feel good. I'm not making it. I was like, okay, girl.
So today, basically what we're going to talk about is we're going to be recapping 2025, talking about our years, looking at our Spotify Wrapped, our Apple Music replays, and there was something else we talked about doing. I don't remember what it was.
I don't either. I'm trying to think.
Maybe just Jack Ringenberg Media's year and the show's year. So we'll kind of incorporate that all. We'll talk about the highs and lows, and that's what's happening today on College Life Unscripted. So without further ado, let's get started.
I love that you're doing it because I would have not said any of that shit. I've just been like, okay, guys, here's what's going on.
Okay, guys, here's what's going on. So today we are... Okay, Kayce, how was your year?
My year, low-key, it was good in the beginning of August, and then it just got worse as the year went on. If you all remember from last season, I told you guys about an evil man that I was talking to. We were back in contact for about a month on my own accord. Worst decision of my life, so I'll let that be there. And then I didn't have a job for the first 2 months of living here, and I didn't know how to pay my bills because I wasn't making any money and I was broke. But then I got a job. It's okay. I'm about tired of it, and I've only been there for 3 months. So I'm like, no, I've been there for 4 months. Wait. Yeah, 4 months. Today is 4 months.
Oh, happy work-anniversary.
Work-anniversary, and it feels like the longest time of my life. I'm like, bro.
That's so real.
But, been working, going to school. I only have one in-person class, and sometimes the professor's like, hey, man, I'm not going to be here. I've got leg pain. And I'm like, all right, see you later, king. And then I don't come to class. Also just full of ups and downs throughout the year. I feel like I'm on top of the world with my mental health, and then I crash and fucking burn, and it's so bad.
That's so real.
I'm not in contact with that man anymore. I still work at my place. My last professor, or that class was just yesterday, so that last lecture's done and over with. I'm on the rise again, and I'm going to come back in January better than ever. Because last year around that time was exactly whenever my depression was really bad. But I'm not going to let it get me this year. I'm going to be...
You're going to be unstoppable. Girl power.
Girl power. What about you, Jack? How was your...
Oh, well, before we move on to me, I was going to ask Kayce, what important life lessons have you learned this year? In 2025. We're not just talking about this semester. You can talk about this semester. But we're talking about 2025 life lessons.
Probably put myself first.
That's an important one.
It's really, it sounds really selfish, but the more and more that I think about situations, I'm just like, damn, I gotta put me first.
I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first.
Because I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, this really sucks. Why am I in this situation? I'm like, well, first of all, I kind of put myself there. But at the second time, or in the second thought, I'm like, I could get out of this. For example, so I had rekindled with a man, as you guys know, evil man. And I had literally just told myself in the beginning, I was like, you know what, if he ever treats me wrong again, I'm just gonna get rid of him. So that's exactly what I did. I was like, you know what, fuck this, I'm not doing this anymore. And obviously, I don't talk about this a lot, and this is kind of something that I am kind of ashamed to think about, but I do think about him like a lot. Yesterday we were actually driving and I saw him and his roommate walking on campus, and I started crying the moment I got home. Just because, like, you know, he was like the first man that like ever showed me like actual love, and I was like, damn, this is nice. And then he was just like, I don't want anything anymore. I'm like, all right, fuck you, dude. But I just told myself, I was like, I'm never gonna let a man treat me like that again. And then for some odd reason I got back in contact with him. I don't know. But then it hit a certain point and I was like, you know what, I'm done with this. I can't do it. I just got rid of him. So
Yeah.
And low-key, I don't know. He will sometimes see my friends on campus and give them dirty looks. So I'm just kind of like, all right. I wish that he wouldn't do that because low-key they didn't do anything to him. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I just leave it at that though. But like that's the biggest thing that I think about is putting myself first in situations, because I'm just like, what effect is this going to have on my brain in a week?
Yeah.
Or like in the next 15 minutes? Because like I get anxious really easily, and whenever I get anxious I get headaches, and then I want to throw up, and like it's just bad. And I'm just like, you know what? I gotta put me first. Like I say it all the time, and it's so selfish, but I just sometimes that's what you gotta do. Yeah. Is just think about yourself. So
That's something I've learned this year too. Yep. Also saying like, if something seems like a bad idea and like someone's asking you something and your gut reaction is no, but you say yes just to make somebody else like make the situation like less awkward.
People pleasing.
Yes, people pleasing kind of. Don't do that. You know, it's not good.
No.
It's not good for your mental health.
Big people pleaser, and I hate that. Like at work, for example, my manager will be like, "Hey, Kayce, can you do this? Or did you do this? Or will you do this?" And obviously, because it's my job, I say yes, but also because I say yes anyway. There was one day one of my coworkers called off, and our manager texted and said, "Will anybody come in at 1 and cover his shift?" And I privately messaged him and said, "If no one answers, I'll come in at 1, but I already come in at 4. So there's my other thing." It hit like 4:30, and the other manager looked at me and said, "Don't be yawning. You're still going to be here for a while." And I was like,
that's crazy.
Bro. I had worked 1 to 10 that night.
Wow.
I was like, because I stayed. Because they tell me, "Oh, we need you." And then half the time I'm like, do you really need me? One night I worked and made $10 in tips. So I'm like, do you really need me here, guys? I don't know, but like I get the whole people pleasing thing. Like I do everything someone asks, and I hate that, because there's sometimes where I'm like, where does this benefit my ass? Like
exactly.
Nowhere. So Jack, how was your year?
It was really bad. Thanks for asking.
We literally talked about this right before we started filming, and I was like, oh my god.
So I'm going to put this into perspective, obviously. It could be so much worse. Like, a lot of my problems...
100%.
Yes, so much worse. A lot of these problems are, like, very first world problems. Like, I will acknowledge that right off the bat. I'm so privileged to be having these problems. That being said, so my year started off... going into 2025, I knew it. I had the vibe that this wasn't going to be my year.
Everybody's like, 2025 is going to be my year. And
that
was
very much like... not me. Going into like 2024, I was like, this year is going to be my year. And I think it was a pretty good year. But yeah, I wasn't feeling like it was going to be my year. And then I get back to school, and I'm looking at my schedule for my second semester at Ball State, and I realize one of my professors that I had for an upcoming class was one of the professors. One of my friends the last semester had specifically told me, like, don't take a class with her. Like, she's a horrible professor. Like,
she's evil.
Basically. And in the heat of scheduling, because like when you're scheduling, it's like getting concert tickets. Like, you have to be on it right away, and the classes fill up so quickly. And the teacher I'd wanted for that class wasn't available, because like her class was filled. So and this was a required class too, so I just had to get what I could. And I wasn't even paying attention to what teacher was teaching it. So I thought, maybe he was just being dramatic. Let's try to see it through.
He was in fact not being dramatic.
No, not at all. Not at all. So anyway,
I didn't even take the class, and it just sounds awful.
It's so bad. But guys, I stuck it through because I am not a quitter. and because I feel like it would have been more complicated to retake the class. And I didn't want to do all that. But anyway, so like on the first day or whatever, she tells us she had like 3 strokes like the previous semester or something. She had like brain cancer or something. All these things, like, I was like, girl, you should not be teaching right now. Like, you should be at home resting. And she was tenured too. So she had been there, I think, since the 90s. And I think a lot of her teaching styles have not changed since then.
I've been a professor for 30 years, by the way.
Like,
bro.
Yeah.
God.
And in that first class too, she was talking about, like, she was demeaning her past classes and using that as an excuse for the reason her Canvas page wasn't up yet. She was like, guys, since like some people don't know like how to read my syllabus or whatever, I'm having to put like the actual assignments into Canvas, which, by the way, as someone whose parent is a teacher and uses Canvas, creating an assignment, especially if you haven't really changed your curriculum in the past like 10 years at least, it's not too hard. But she was very not tech savvy. Thankfully, the class had a TA, and if the class had not had a TA, which is like a teacher's assistant, if the class had not had a TA, I would have dropped it on the first day because she was just giving off bad vibes right away. She was making a lot of like offhanded comments where I was like, oh, like,
You didn't have to say that.
Yeah, and she was older too. I mean, she was like probably like 60 or something. But anyway, I could talk about just the first day for a while, but I'm gonna like skip ahead, obviously. So she had like a 36-page syllabus or whatever, and normally she would make students like memorize it or whatever, essentially, and she'd have a syllabus quiz over the stuff, which I think is crazy. It's crazy too because it was basically like the class like Bible, but like she was a minister too, so like I don't know, that feels a little
she was everything,
yeah,
she was a professor, a minister.
Yeah,
she was probably a doctor too. We didn't know.
Oh,
about.
She was, yeah, she doctor. That was in her title,
bro.
Okay, I'm just gonna name drop Dr. Maria William Hawkins. Hated your class. She just wasn't like a very good teacher, and so she had like the syllabus quiz or whatever. Thankfully, we didn't have to do it because due to her health reasons or whatever, like her health stuff, she wasn't able, it wasn't like a regular semester with her because there was a TA. Normally there wouldn't be a TA. The TA kind of realized how stupid a syllabus quiz is. But then like she was there for like, I think the second class, but maybe not the third class. And we were going through the slideshow and the TA got it done in like maybe 30 minutes, and the class is like an hour or something. And so the TA got it done really quickly, and then the next class, Dr. Maria was back, and she took basically like 2 or 3 class periods to go over the same exact stuff. It's like, what are we doing? So that was like one of the first red flags too, and she wasn't adding like anything like important really. She would also say a lot, I feel like the class too, I will say this, it was supposed to be media and culture studies, but I think because on the syllabus it said the class was something about like criticism or whatever. I think she was teaching that class because when I talked to other people taking this media and culture studies class for media, they were not learning anywhere near the same stuff we were learning. Dr. Maria was kind of doing her own thing, which I think definitely in the long run is not something that's productive to have a teacher teaching the wrong class just because she's tenured. And these concerns were definitely brought up to the department chair too. And she was basically kind of like, my hands are tied. I think that was really irresponsible of you to let everything in that class that happened. And my experience in that class was definitely not the worst. I've heard other stories about terrible things Dr. Maria did.
Susie Smith, Jack Ringenberg Media just clocked you so hard, girl.
What you did, letting her stay in that position of power was, I think, borderline like dangerous almost, like, and not productive to bettering the advancement of students' education. And I get that you couldn't like fire her or anything, but maybe this is what I think you should have done. You should have removed her from teaching a required class and had her only teaching like electives, so that if someone is taking the class, they are choosing to take it with Dr. Maria. But that's just my take on the situation. I think what you were doing was irresponsible. Okay, so anyway, back to Dr. Maria for a second. There were only like 3 big assignments we did all year, each worth like 200 points. So if you failed one, you basically failed the class, or like you were set up to fail in the class. So the first test was very like media and criticism heavy. So like and she also had us memorize this like really wordy 3-sentence definition of what is criticism. It was horrible. It didn't encompass what criticism actually is. And it was super redundant and just unnecessarily wordy. But, if we, like, missed a comma or, like, said, like, one word wrong or, like, mixed it up or something, you would lose points. Like, each punctuation mark, I think, was, like, worth a certain number of points. It was so stupid.
That's so stupid.
It was so stupid.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So, anyway, we had, like, the first test or whatever. Like, it was so stressful. Thankfully, there was like someone in that class who I knew from high school, and for lack of a better word, I feel like we trauma bonded in that class a lot more. We became a lot better friends than we were in high school because of that class, and we were kind of just commiserating over it together, which I think I do believe everything happens for a reason. And maybe that was the reason for being in that class, to become better friends with this person. I don't know, guys. We'll see. But I haven't really talked to him since. But, yeah, so we had the first test. Oh, my goodness. By the way, she was, like, in the hospital, like, a day or two before the test. But then, guys, of course she was back for the test because,
She has to be. Yeah. There's no way she had it in her will. She was like, I'm going to be there.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. It was so funny, too. Like, just watching everyone drop it throughout the semester. It was hilarious. So anyway, yeah, we had our first test. Like, I studied so hard, like, never studied for anything harder in my life, I don't think. I got a 100%, thankfully. And it also helped that there were, like, bonus questions, too, to help you get, like, that 100%. So then our second project, or second thing we had to do was this, like, I don't even remember what she called it, but basically you had to take, like, a film, TV show or something, and you had to write, like, a rhetorical statement or something like that, and then tie it in with all these things. I don't know. And it was supposed to be a video presentation. It was so dumb. And
what was your TV show that you did?
So I did like 3 movies.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Yeah,
telling me about
and
this.
it was about social media's impact on like mental health or something.
Yes.
And it was like some Hulu movie that was basically Dear Evan Hansen, but like based on technology and like phone addiction. Unfriended, this horror movie, which was really good. Despite what everyone says, I don't think it has a high Rotten Tomatoes score, but it's actually kind of a good movie.
Unfriended?
Yeah, it's like the one that takes place on like the whole thing takes place on a computer screen, like Skype call.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
And then I think it was a Netflix documentary or something.
That Unfriended is actually a scary movie because these people like die on this Skype call.
Oh my goodness, I watched that alone in my dorm, like when like it was crazy. I was kind of like, after I watched that, I was like, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but that was like a little like kind of scary a little bit.
Yeah, especially if you're alone in your dorm.
Yeah, but anyway, oh my goodness. So she told us we needed our topics. I'm sorry, guys. I'm ranting a lot about this, but get me talking about Dr. Maria and I will. My other, like, 2 big canon events, I'm not going to talk about, like, as much as this one, like, that happened this year. Okay. So, anyway. So, she tells us, like, in January, when the class, like, started, think of your topics already. Like, start thinking about them. And then we had to submit, like, a rough draft of our topic, I think, and, like, maybe a few weeks later, like, maybe early February. And then we had to submit like our final topics. Like, you can't change it at this point. I think in like maybe beginning of March, maybe. I don't know. That's being generous. Anyway, school ended like May 1st or something like that. So mid-April, like a week or 2 before the project's due, she's like, guys, everyone needs to meet with me to talk about their final project topics or final topics for the project or whatever. So like I can approve them. I sat there being like, you have had these for who knows how long. Oh, that was the thing too. She wanted you to email these topics to her. She doesn't check her email. Like, I emailed her one time asking, basically, are you going to be in your office during your office hours so I can meet with you and ask you a question about something? She never got back to me. And for this specifically, where we had to meet with her, like she was never, the thing too was it was so hard to find her because she was never in her office during her office hours. To the point where I had to go up to her after class and be like, hey, are you going to be in your office during your office hours? Because if you are going to expect us to meet with you to approve the final project topics, you need to be in your office. Literally. And so I asked her, like, are you going to, I gave her the time of her office hours, and I'm like, are you going to be here then? And she's like, oh, well, I don't know. Let me think. And then, like, you shouldn't have to think about that, by the way. She was like, yeah, I think I should be. But if I'm not there, I'll be here. And it's like, what are we doing? So anyway, I go there. Okay, anyways. But yeah, it's so stupid because she's had our project topics for a while. And she could have approved them if she actually checked her email. What would have been smart is to do like a Canvas like assignment. You know, she could have then gone through all of them. They'd all be in one spot. Don't know why she didn't do that. Probably because she doesn't know how to use technology.
Because she's so old.
Because she is so old. But like... So anyway, that happened. So we had to go meet with her. I obviously met with her. And it ended up being in like this little like conference chat room that the media department has. And you would like, I went in the room. I sat on the little couch there. There were like maybe like 5 other people there. Once she was done talking with someone else, she would just choose a random person to talk to next. Like, it didn't have to be the person who had been there the longest. So I was sitting there, and like from probably like 2 hours or whatever, until she had like 5 minutes before she had to leave. And I was like, Dr. Maria, hang on. I need to talk to you before you leave, like about my project topic. Well, no, I said, I need to talk to you, or I want to talk to you. And she's like, about what?
Why do you think I'm here?
Exactly. I was like, my project topic. And she's like, okay, what do you have right now? And I told her it. And she basically said, yeah, that's good. Like, I would just maybe like adjust the wording here. I almost, like, if I was not just so happy to be leaving that room, I would have, like, actually crashed out. Like,
I would have too, especially for sitting there that long.
I was so mad. Like, I had to, like, I think interrupt someone just to get, like, because I think someone else was trying to, like, get the final word in with her. And I was like, no, it's going to be me. Like, I've been sitting here for so long. Like, there would be other people that would come in, and then she would talk to them before she would talk to me. I don't know, like, what it was. And then she would do this thing, too, where, like, at the beginning of the year, since I knew she was a bad teacher, I was trying to get on her good side. So I'd try to answer questions or whatever. Because no one else would really answer questions. Gee, I wonder why. Because if you tried to answer them and you were wrong, she'd, like, demean you. She would, like, pick on everyone. It was, like, really not a healthy environment. But so I would try to answer questions. But then, like, if I don't, like, know the answer confidently, I'll kind of start out by saying, like, well, like, is it? Because if she asks, like, what's 2 plus 2? If I were to not know the answer, let's just say, and I were to say, like, is it 4? She'd be like, no. Or no, she'd be like, are you playing Jeopardy with me or whatever? Because I'd ask it, like, as a question. She'd be like, no, like, are you asking? You need to tell me or something like that. I'd be like, girl, I'm the only one.
Why is she being so rude?
I know, girl, I'm the only one, like, with my hand raised, trying to help move your class along. Like, this is not my fault that no one is answering your questions. Like, instead of, like, demeaning me, let's, like, I don't know. It's, like, so, it made me so mad.
Are you playing Jeopardy with me? Is crazy.
So then after that, I obviously stopped trying to help and answer questions. Because I was like, you know what? Like, if she doesn't want me to help move class along, then I'll let class stall. Like, I'm not going to answer your questions. I'm not playing your games. Like, I don't care about you. Like, you're a terrible person. And yeah. So anyway, you know, so then we also have, like, our whole, like, second half of the semester too. And for the whole second half of the semester, she's using, like, these presentation slides to basically talk about, like, every stereotype imaginable of every group imaginable.
I remember this.
And it's not like, here's the stereotype and here's why it's bad. It's, no, here's the stereotype. Make sure you memorize the stereotype because the stereotype's going to be on the test. She would also say, like, slurs in class, and she'd be like, guys, I'm only saying this so you know what not to say. I'm sorry, what?
That's like a teacher reading the How to Kill a Mockingbird and saying the N-word and being like, I'm just saying it because it's in the book. Yeah. That's not okay, girl.
No. And, like, she would say some racist stuff, too. And she was black, I will say that. But, like, still, some stuff she should not have been saying.
There were probably some homophobic slurs.
Actually, no.
Really?
No, because she would talk about, this was her this was her like inclusive moment that she always talk about, guys. She used to host like coming out day, like parties or whatever, like in her office, back in like the early 2000s or whatever. And she'd be like, students would come into my office, and if they didn't feel comfortable to come out to their family, they could come out to me, which I love that. Like, that's a really great thing that you're doing. But, like, you can't use that as your excuse for everything. Especially some of the stuff that was on the slides, because there's a whole section on the slides about, obviously, like, the LGBTQ community. And we were learning about all the different types of lesbians. We were learning about all the... We gotta pull it up. Hang on, we got to pull up.
I remember Jack telling me about this like right after it happened, and I was like, "What?" Like it just did not seem real.
Oh my goodness. No, hang on. I'm just gonna talk about it. I can't. I don't have the time right now to pull it up. But we talked about all the different types of twinks. There's the All-American, and then we talked about like bears, otters, like all of this stuff, like the gay community stuff. It was, and on her slideshow too. Like, for the twink, there was a picture of... It's the one picture of Zac Efron during his, like, High School Musical days, or, like, that era Zac Efron, you know, where he's got, like, kind of, like, the hair thing.
Like Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Hair, but, like, Justin
like,
Bieber's,
teen
like,
heartthrob.
12. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but, like, it's that... But he's got kind of his shirt going up so you can, like, see his, like, abs or whatever. And he's going, like... or I don't know.
It's not a twink. That's
that's
like a cis man.
Yeah. Yeah, like, he's straight, guys. Like
a twink, I picture...
Believe me, I would know. Like,
who would be a twink in that era?
But, like, the thing is, too, like, I don't think these slides had been updated since, like, 2006 or whatever.
Oh,
like,
1000% no.
But
She probably made that and thought she was cooking with it,
yeah,
too.
no. And there were, like, some offensive things on there, too. Like, I was like, ooh, I don't think they should be on there.
No,
but she claims she consulted the communities of all of these people that she was talking about to make sure the slides are up to date. If that were true, I think there'd be a little bit more of, here's why this stereotype is wrong, and not, here's the stereotype, make sure you memorize it. Because it was so bad. So anyway, but then there was another picture on another twink slide about I don't know, beach twinks or something, and then it was a picture of like, I think like Taylor Lautner or someone from like Twilight. Is he in Twilight?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
God, he plays
but
Jacob.
yeah, he was shirtless. And like that, he's straight, guys. To my knowledge,
he's married to a woman.
So don't know why she chose those two photos.
I actually think he's married to a woman named Taylor, and now her name is Taylor Lautner.
That's so funny. But so there was that, and then like the final project too. So going back to the final project,
yeah,
she
Taylor
made us.
Lautner.
It was a presentation, and like we had to book out a like classroom, and so we had to talk to like the TA about that and everything. It was so stupid because she was like, guys,
Taylor Dome.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's
guys.
Taylor Lautner and Taylor Lautner.
Yeah. So Taylor Lautner is married to a woman. So
yes. So he's not gay.
No. So we had to book out like a classroom because she was like, you can't film in like the library study rooms because they like look bad or whatever. And it's like, oh my goodness, are you being so for real? And also like she was very picky about like, you have to do it all in one take, which looking back I get, but it's like, I want to add in like, no, like I can do it in one take. Just let me edit it a little bit. Let me add in like fun music to make it engaging. Let me add in like the slides on the screen and not just like B-roll type on the screen, not just like on this screen on the screen. So it just made me so mad that like as video people, I had no creativity freedom really with this project. It made me so mad. And then too, if you were like over or under the thing, like for each second you were over her time limit or under her time limit, you lost like 10 points or something.
Jesus.
So I'm pretty sure you could go into negative points.
Because if you were 10 seconds over, there's 100 points.
Yeah, it was something crazy like that. And that's how I lost a lot of points, because I was a little bit under. But I think I still got like an 85 or something on the project. Yeah. Anyway, for test 2, yeah, I think one of the test questions was like, is this slur bad? And it was like a true or false or something. So like that tells you what type of test this was. And it was It was so funny too, because when we were taking the test, she was like, "Guys, there are no questions on here where it's trying to be like a gotcha moment," except there were. Like, all of the questions on the test were worded horribly and manipulatively to make you like think like it could be this, but it could also be this. It was like a best answer situation, which made me so mad. I think I still got a 100 on that test too. But like I didn't do as well. Like, I missed more questions than I did on the first test, which it made me so mad. Like, when I was done with that, I'm so glad that, like I said too, these tests, I think I said it earlier, these tests were on paper and not on Canvas or anything, because she's old and prehistoric and doesn't trust people. I don't know. It was so dumb. So anyway, when I was handing her my test, I'm so glad somebody else was also handing her their test at the same time, because I think I would have like just told her everything I was thinking, or if she had like told me like have a great summer or something, I would have done something like so petty. I don't know what I would have done, but I would have done something petty. Yeah. Anyway, so fast forward, like after the test, course evaluations have come out. And one of the questions, I've been preparing this all semester, by the way. Like, from day one, basically, I'd had a list going of basically everything I've talked about over the last, like, 20 minutes that, like, just made me mad about her. Like, because, like I said, like, I knew she wasn't going to read, like, whatever I had to say, because this woman could not take criticism. If you tried to criticize her in any way, she'd be like, no, like, you're the one who's wrong, not me, which is so ironic, since she was like spent the whole first semester talking about criticism. It just made me so mad, like, that class. So, like, obviously I put it into the course evaluation. Like, from day one, I was like, okay, like, the only reason I'm staying in this class is to write this course evaluation in hopes that she'll see it, maybe change. I knew she wasn't going to change. Or like Susie Smith, the department chair, will see it, and maybe that'll invoke some change of some sort. So anyway, over that weekend, I grinded out, I think 6 pages, single-spaced, I believe. So that's 12 pages double-spaced. I wrote out this whole course evaluation of her, because the question was, like, what are some pros and cons of this teacher? 12 pages double-spaced of cons. I copied and pasted that into the course evaluation site. Thankfully, there was no word limit. But I said everything I've said in this little podcast so far, and so much more. Because, like I said, what she was doing, the effect she had on my mental health, like, it was so unnecessary. The fact that I was in that class, like, and I do realize I could have dropped it. Like, that was an option, and it was partly on me for not doing that. But, like, that shouldn't have had to be what happened. Like, her classes do have one of the highest drop rates I've heard. But, like, I shouldn't have to drop the class because she's a bad teacher. This is a required class, and I should have been able to have the same experience with her as with another teacher. But I was talking to my friend who dropped the class, and she was like, yeah, my final was basically just answering some, like, easy, like, questions, like, on Canvas about, like, some of the stuff we'd learned this semester. And then mine over here was, like, a 4-page test, and you had to write it on paper. So, yeah. Anyway, so fast forward, like, this is, like, a few weeks, it's, like, right before school gets out or something. She's like, or no, I see on Instagram that she's retiring, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like,
yeah.
Let's go. Like, maybe I knew it wasn't my doing, but maybe I had an impact.
Yeah,
I thought
like
maybe she
influence on it.
Maybe in my optimistic mind, I was thinking maybe I had some small impact. Yeah, so I was just so happy, because I was thinking then no one else is going to have to go through what I did, because she was a horrible person, like I've said, or horrible teacher. I don't know, maybe she was a good person, but a horrible teacher who would not change to adapt with the times, and I think that's something you need to do in this day and age. But anyway, so then this is where the story gets a little bit sad. A few weeks later, I'm at work and, like, back home, And I get a message from the person who I'd kind of like trauma bonded, for lack of a better word, with in that class. And he's like, have you heard the news about Dr. Bria? And I was like, no, what happened? And he's like, she died. So then at that moment I realized, okay, it was probably not my doing that she retired. It was probably due to health reasons. But, you know, I was sad for her family, you know, and her friends, because there were definitely, that's terrible that happened. So anyway, that was my first semester.
Literally.
So that was like the first 5 months of 2025, and I was like, you know, probably can't get worse from here, right? No, you'd be wrong. Because then I got my wisdom teeth out in like mid-May, and you know, once you get those out, for the first few days or whatever, you need to be on like a liquid-only diet, they suggest. And they're like, drink this much amount of water or whatever. You know, so I was drinking a lot of water, more than usual, I'd say. And so then it's a few weeks post-surgery, and I notice I'm still drinking a lot of water. And I think, oh, it's probably just because it's like, it was a hot summer. So I was thinking, oh, it's probably just because it's like hot out or whatever. No. I come to later learn that's not what it was. But hold on, guys. It's still like May.
There's a story.
I haven't realized that yet. So I just think like at that point, like, you know, it's probably just because it's hot outside. But then I'm gonna give you like the Spark Notes version of the story, because there was more stuff leading up to this, but the kind of turning point was the turning point before the turning point was we were at my grandparents' house, at their lake house, out in St. Louis. We were visiting them. My cousins were there too. We were celebrating the 4th of July, because they, at their little lake house resort area, they have like a fireworks show that they do. Mm-hmm. I noticed, I was drinking a lot of water. I was needing to go to the restroom a lot, and I had thought that's probably because I'm drinking water. But like every night when I would go to sleep, I would be thirsty and just be like, oh, I can't wait for the morning so I can get up and drink water. And then my mouth would always feel like weird, kind of like mucusy almost, kind of in the morning, like kind of like when you're sick almost. Mm-hmm. But like I don't really remember that, like that didn't even register to me that the two things might be connected until like after I found out why all this was happening. And also, oh my goodness, so in June I'd had like my yearly like physical or whatever at the doctor, and I noticed my weight was down a little bit. Keep in mind, that is not something I was trying to do. So, and this, like, over the summer, I was like, oh my goodness, guys, this is going to be my summer. Like, I'm going to take this time to, like, because my brother, like, he does, like, weightlifting or whatever in our basement. So I was like, okay, I'm going to use, like, his stuff. I'm going to get strong, guys. That wasn't happening. No. There's always something that gets in my way anytime I try to, like, do something like that. So, like, obviously, like, I was trying to gain more weight and not lose it. So
gain muscle.
Gain muscle, yeah.
Muscle mass.
Or just, like, to be more up to, instead of, like, borderline, like, kind of, like, underweight, like, healthy weight, be a little bit more in, like, the middle percentile.
Not obese, but,
yes,
like, large.
Bigger than I am now. So let's review so far what has happened to me this summer. Weight loss. Thirsty a lot. Using the restroom a lot.
Mucusy mouth,
yes. So then we're at my grandparents' house. Fast forward to July 4th weekend. And so we're at their lake house for a few days. Then we go to like the regular house, which is also like in St. Louis. And so we're there, and there was like one day where I had no energy. Like I was just sitting watching, like, this sounds like I was just being lazy. I was sitting and watching TV all day, but like I could not like get up from the chair really. Like there was one point where I was thinking about getting like my computer or something that was like in the room I was staying in, like upstairs. And I was thinking, I literally don't think I have the energy to walk upstairs right now.
Like I'll collapse if I try.
That's like, I kind of thought that like I'm gonna have to like, you know, like baby style, like, you know, whatever, like drag myself up there. And like keep in mind, like, I was getting up, like, every, like, hour or something to go to the restroom. So it's not like I was, like, completely weak, but, like, I felt, like, physically very weak. I was also, like, there were a few things going on that weekend that were also making me just, like, really annoyed. You know, so frequent needing to use the restroom, drinking a lot of water, like, my sleep was obviously affected too because I was needing to get up so much, and weight loss, and then, like, mucusy, whatever, like, and, like, low energy. So we got lots of symptoms here, and at this point I knew what it was. I kind of did, but I didn't want to admit it to myself. But then the real turning point was the Saturday before I figured out what was really going on. It was, that Saturday. I was at work. It was like an 8-hour shift or whatever, because that's what I would typically work on Saturdays. Mm-hmm. And I work at a grocery store when, like, during the summers and stuff. So they've got, like, their own, like, branded, like, 16.9 ounce water bottles that, like, the disposable ones. And they're like, you can take one during your shift or whatever. Like, and then if you need, like, more water, you can just, like, refill it. Yeah, so that's where the story's going. I probably drank, like, the entire water cooler or something. That Saturday when I was there, I was refilling my water bottle so much to the point where it was definitely impacting my work. Like, I want to say I probably refilled it, like, 10 times maybe. If like, around there, probably, like, 10, 15. I don't know. It was, like, a lot. Where I would, like, I would basically chug it, like, work for a bit. Because, that was the thing, too. I couldn't just drink a little bit. Like, I'd have to chug it because I was so thirsty. And before anyone says, like, oh, like, I drink a lot of water, too, like, you probably are being dramatic.
Like, you don't understand, no, like, whenever we say drinking water, we mean, like, straight chugging.
You're not, like, chugging a water bottle, like, waiting, like, 30 minutes, then having to, like, chug another one, and you're still, like, thirsty. Mm-hmm. Like, you guys don't understand.
Like drinking a water bottle progressively throughout the day. Like, no, like, that's chugging a water in, like, 10 seconds.
Because I've had people, like, since I've told them about, like, what, like, I'll tell you guys in a second, but since, like, then, where they've been like, oh, yeah, like, they were like, oh, what were your symptoms? And I was like, I was drinking a lot of water and, like, this and this. And they're like, oh, I drink a lot of water, too. Like, first of all, like, what do you mean? Like, what are you trying to say? Like,
I drink a lot of water, but I'm not saying that, like, I have... I had the same thing as Jack. I think I do, just not at a certain...
Yeah, we'll get to this in a second. I'm intentionally being vague about what this is to lead to the big reveal. Maybe you guys at home have guessed what it is. So anyway, and I was going to the restroom, obviously, frequently, where I was getting annoyed at the amount of times it was happening. And I was like, this is really affecting my work. And I'm the type of person, too, who, if I am not, like, doing, especially there, if I'm just, like, sitting around or something, or, like, going to the bathroom every, like, half hour to an hour, I feel like this sounds so bad, but I'm, like, wasting company time or whatever, which I hate.
Not only wasting company time, but wasting my own time.
Wasting my own time, too, because, like, it was so annoying. So, anyway, I go home that day. Oh, another thing about that day, too, was I was so, like, drained, even though I felt like I got enough sleep. But I was so drained that there was some points in the day where I think I was literally talking to customers in my regular voice and not my customer service voice. If you work in, like, retail or anything like that, fast food industry, you're a server, there's a customer service voice. Because, like, I've got my regular voice, but then I've got, like, yeah, totally, I can help you with that. Like, guys,
you just sound more upbeat and cheery, but whenever you're like, hi, welcome in, what can I get for you? Like, you just, like, it's very obvious.
When you go to a grocery store and you ask, guys, or, like, there's a customer who asks, like, a stupid question, like, do you have, like, this? And you don't want to say no, like, you're so stupid. Why would we carry that? You need to say, like, no, I don't think we do, but I can go ask my manager real fast, like, if that would, like, make you happy or something. Like, you gotta offer your solutions, even if it's a stupid question. I don't know. And I think someone had asked me a stupid question or something, and I basically or they asked, like, where something was, or I don't know. And I basically just told them, like, flat out, like, I don't know, like, I think it's over there, like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then someone, like, they'll do this thing too, where they'll move products around to keep us on our toes. That's not the official reason they do it, but like that feels like it's why they do it.
It's why, yeah.
So they a customer had asked me like where something was. I was like, oh, I think it's right down there. And they're like, no, it's not. I looked down there, and I was like, oh, okay, then I don't know where it is. And I think that's exactly what I said. Like normally I should have said, oh, okay, let me go take a look and I'll try to find it for you. No. Anyway, so
I literally don't have a fucking clue where it's at.
So as we can see here, I had no energy. So I go home that night and I'm like, I'm going to sleep like early. I think almost every hour that night I woke up to use the restroom. It was so bad. I got up that morning. It was Sunday. And as I was getting water, like my mom woke up too, and I was like, can we like go to like urgent care or something? Cause like I like think something is wrong. Like at this point, okay, I'm gonna reveal what I thought was happening at this point. I thought I had diabetes because we have a family history, more extensive than I had initially known, but like prominently, like in my like immediate family, my aunt on my mom's side has it, and then my cousin who's like my age on my dad's side has it. So it's always been something where it's like, if you are experiencing these symptoms, please let like one of us know. That's what our parents my parents always told me, like, because it's very much been something like that's been prominent. But with diabetes, especially after like a certain age, like type 1 diabetes used to be called like juvenile diabetes because it was more prominent in kids. But and that's typically when you'll be diagnosed like under 18. So, after you're over 18, you kind of stop thinking about it a little bit more because I guess you're less likely to be diagnosed. I don't really know. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, can we like go? And she's like, yeah, like after church today or whatever. So, we go. Then we get Arby's for lunch, which it's kind of sad that was my last like that was like my last pre-diagnosis meal. I wish it were a gas station slushie because I'd been really craving one of those.
It was Arby's roast beef.
It was because I didn't have to worry, because guys, I do have diabetes, but I didn't have to worry about carb counting or whatever. So I think it was like 2 chicken sliders or something, and like the curly fries.
I love
the milkshakes. Those milkshakes are so high carb.
A beef and cheddar with a large curly fry and cheese and
that sounds so good.
Oh, it's so good.
So anyway, we end up going, and like at this point, I'm like, yeah, like I have diabetes. Like I know.
Like there's no way.
There's like. I would be more concerned as we were going in. I would have been more concerned if it wasn't diabetes, because I was like, I'd be like, what's going on? Like, we might.
Oh, I just hit my funny bone, and now my whole.
We might have a real problem here. Oh my goodness, guys! I've been talking for so long about my year, but sorry, guys.
I couldn't say much because I was afraid of what would be said.
Yeah, but anyway, so we go. I remember just sitting there in like the urgent care like lobby, and it was so funny too, because like on the drive there, my mom was like, why do you think we're going to urgent care? Because I had said like, just can we go to urgent care? And I told her like everything that I just told you all. And so we hadn't actually we hadn't said it out loud. We hadn't brought it into the world.
It was just kind of floating up in the
air. It was like one of these things where we both understood why we were going. But then she did like ask me, and I was like, yeah, like it's probably diabetes. And it was really scary. Like I was like scared because like this is like a life-changing thing. And then I was holding out a little bit of hope in the like lobby that maybe I didn't. And then we get they have you step on the scale before you go into the waiting room or whatever. And I was down, I think, like 10-ish pounds or something. So yeah, that was the moment I knew, like, because that was a significant amount of weight to lose in just a month. I would say that's significant,
especially for someone who's like
someone
not going out of their way to lose weight.
Exactly, like
just losing 10 pounds randomly is like
especially like when you are my size too, like it was really like at that moment I knew like, oh, okay, because my cousin who's my age who has it, that was one of the things like I noticed like before he got diagnosed, like he lost a bunch of weight, which, oh my goodness, I am so glad like that he got diagnosed before me. Like it was a few years before. Like he was a teenager when he got diagnosed, but like still, like oh my goodness, he's such a valuable resource. He's great, and I think being able to see like his symptoms helped definitely to realize like I had it, because I'll go onto this in a minute, but like if I had waited much longer, you know,
It probably would have gotten much worse.
yeah,
So then you would have been
that's
like,
putting it
or like
lightly.
collapsing.
So anyway, we'll get to that. So that's the moment I realized. I don't know why, like how my mom didn't realize at that point. But so my memory, this is where things get a little fuzzy in my mind. I can't remember if they had me do like a urine test first or if they pricked my finger first, but I think they did like both. It doesn't matter, like, because the urine tests aren't like immediate, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, they pricked my finger to get my blood sugar, because that's the way they can determine if you're you have it or not. Because if your blood sugar is like really really high, then you have diabetes, or your blood sugar is not managed. And basically diabetes, type 1, which is what I have, it means like it's an autoimmune disease, so it's like nothing you can control, like it's just genetics. But like it means your blood sugar, like your pancreas is not producing enough like sugar and stuff for your blood, or what, I don't know. It's something with the pancreas, something with like it's not producing enough insulin, or it's not producing any insulin because your pancreas is like dead. So yeah, and I'm thinking about it now. The reason I was dehydrated has to do with something like some like sugars weren't, or there was something where like
proper imbalance.
the imbalance with the pancreas and the sugar and stuff, which caused you to be really dehydrated, because it was trying to absorb the water, but it couldn't, so it was just like flushing it back out into like urine and stuff. So that's why I was having to go to the restroom so much more. I don't know, it was something like that. Anyway, so yeah, we get into the room, they take my blood sugar to find out if I have diabetes or not, because that's basically what we told them, like that's what we think is happening here. And it's like, I think it was like over 600. I think that's what their machine went up to, and that's what it was. And keep in mind, a normal like healthy blood sugar is like around like, you know, maybe 100, around there somewhere, like roughly.
Jack's was triple.
Yeah. And when my mom heard that, like right now I'm at like 93, which is like I've been a little bit low the past like few hours. Don't know why, but just have been. Like, but 93, that's where most people probably normally are. So anyway, yeah, they tell like us that the reading is like over 600. And they're like, basically, we need to get you on insulin right now. And I'm over here like, I don't know what insulin is. I don't know what this high blood sugar thing means. I don't know what any of this I don't know what any of this means. And I see like my mom start to cry. It was, the thing too was the nurse there, she was also diabetic, and she was like, she didn't help the situation. She was like, why are you crying? Like, I'm sorry. That was not the best reaction for the nurse to have.
Nurse.
And she was like, and then she like showed me her insulin pump, and she was like, I have diabetes too, and like it's gonna be okay. And I was like that, like obviously in that, like I'd put 2 and 2 together before, but like yeah, then I kind of realized, and it didn't really sink in, I don't think, until like, you know, I was like hooked up to all of the machines, like giving me insulin or whatever. And I was sitting in that urgent care room. I was thinking, oh my goodness, this is the rest of my life now. Like, that's crazy.
Especially starting out at like 19 years old.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, because then we had to be admitted to the hospital, like the emergency room, so they could like treat me further there. But the thing is, since I was over 18, I had to be admitted to like the actual hospital and not the kid hospital, I guess. I don't know.
Like the children's
hospital, yeah, where they would normally admit like children who just got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And the problem with that is that the people in the children's hospital are trained a lot better in type 1 diabetes. There were a lot of people who very much, they should have known more than they did, but they were very uninformed on the topic. And I think the people who needed to be informed most were the ones who were least informed, I feel like, and the people who, like, it's not in their job description, really, to know or to understand it. Or, well, I mean, they're nurses, so obviously they should.
If you're
but,
a doctor or a nurse, I feel like that you should know in a situation what to do. I know there's a lot of medical terms for nurses and doctors to learn, but...
I'm more saying, yeah.
Like I don't, like, it's hard to explain because I watched a clip from House, and he was teaching a college class, and this kid was like, well, it's so hard to know everything on the spot whenever you're all up in our face. And he goes, okay, pretend I'm not all up in your face and I'm actually a patient who's actually dying.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have 4 hours to think about it. You have 20 seconds at max. So, like, if I were in his situation, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, how do you guys not know any of this?
Yeah,
like,
I was more mad at specifically the endocrinologist, who's supposed to be like the hospital diabetes doctor or whatever, and the nutritionist who I talked to. Like, I was forced to talk to this person. And they were two of the most unhelpful people, like, during my entire stay. Like, looking back, I really wish I would have asked if I could file a complaint against this endocrinologist, because he was absolutely terrible. One of the first things he said to me was, like, so how did you end up here? Like, how'd you end up with diabetes or something? Like, I'm sorry.
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy? Like,
well, yeah, that too. But, like, this isn't something I caused.
No.
Like, this is something that he ended up, like, because they did, like, an A1C test too, which, like, shows you, can give you an estimate of how long you've had it. And he said the test showed that I've probably had it for, like, at least a year. And it was just, like, not as present until, like, now. And anyway. So he was so terrible. And then the nutritionist asked the same question, like, how'd you end up here? Like, to imply, like, that I did something to cause the diabetes. I did not. Like,
I cut my finger off. Like, bro.
Yeah, like, guys, like, you need to be informed on this. And I thought that was such an insensitive question. So, yeah, and so the nutritionist was basically he wasn't even telling me anything new. I would think this guy's, like, never really been... I don't even remember what he taught me, like, nothing important. He was kind of just showing me, like, graphics of, like, diabetes, like, things with, like, food, the carbs for everything, because
like
with diabetes,
food chart.
The food charts, yeah, and, like, with carb counts, like, here's roughly how many, like, carbs an apple might have or something like that. Because the thing with diabetes is, especially, like, type 1, before I eat anything, I have to give myself insulin. There are two ways you can do this. There's, like, each meal you can eat around the same number of carbs or something like that, I think, and then just give yourself, like, around the same amount of insulin before you eat anything. And then, or you could do what I do and you could carb count. So, like, if I'm eating, like, say, a granola bar or something that's, like, 20 carbs, like, before I eat that, I have to make sure I give myself insulin so my blood sugar doesn't spike again, like that.
Because me and him would go to McDonald's with, like, some friends.
Yes.
And he would always have to do the math first.
Yeah.
So he'd get us food and let it sit there for, like, 15 minutes before he actually ate. And I was like,
Yeah.
Jack, I feel so bad.
Oh, my goodness, guys. Also, when I first got out of the hospital, I had to, like, do, like, injections, like, with a little, like, shot thing. Now I have an insulin pump.
Thank
my
God.
goodness, guys. Insulin pumps. I have an Omnipod. Not sponsored. But hey, Omnipod, if you want to sponsor me. Also, I'm wearing my Dexcom right now to monitor what my blood sugar is.
Omnipod, sponsor me.
And Dexcom, if you want to sponsor me, I will not say no. I love your products so much. I love my Omnipod. I love my Dexcom. Love it so much, guys. Yes.
We love you.
Although, Omnipod, one suggestion I have is if you could make your clicks, like, before it injects the needle, if they could be, like, less random, that'd be really nice. If you're diabetic, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I was in the hospital or whatever, and...
Because he snapped me, and at first I couldn't tell where he was until, like, 4 days later, I was like, hey,
yeah,
Jack.
I did spend, like, 3 nights in the hospital. The first night I was in the ER. The second, because the whole, like, first... few hours we were there, they were like, we're trying to get you a room in the actual hospital, but, like, until then you have to, like, spend the night in the ER. And the thing too was like, by, like, this point, like, because they didn't want me eating anything until I got my blood sugar, like, under control. And by the point where they were like, yeah, we're satisfied with it or whatever, it was like 10 o'clock or something at night, so the kitchen was closed, so I couldn't order anything from there. So I think my dad had to bring me, like, I don't know, some like no carb things, and the like just the amount of fear I had like eating those was like crazy. I was like, are you like sure there are no carbs in this? Like, because if it has no carbs in it, you don't have to do insulin. And yeah, so I remember just being so scared. Anyway, so what they told me too, what I like later learned, is that I was in this thing called like, I think DKA or whatever, where your blood sugar is just so high for an extended period of time. And, you know, if you're in it for too long, you could actually go into like a coma, I think, and maybe die. It's hard to say what would have happened. I probably would have gone into a coma at some point. But I'm just so thankful that we realized it when we did. And yeah, so that's pretty much that. And, one other thing too. For the first night we were in the hospital, it was hard to sleep because we were in the ER or whatever. And they were coming in every now and again to like do blood sugar stuff, like check my vitals, whatever. So like you could never get like a good amount of sleep. So, you know, we had the TV on to help like just be background noise. Watching Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at 3 a.m. in the ER, that's an experience.
It definitely is.
That is an experience.
I remember, I didn't even mention this whenever we were talking about it. My dad ended up going to the ER, like, within, like, the first month of me moving up to Muncie. So I drove from here all the way to Dayton, Ohio. I was running on 2 hours of sleep. I hadn't eaten anything all day. And because my roommate came into my room and she goes, hey, you need to call your mom. Like, it sounds like something happened. So I get on the phone and she goes, hey, I'm going to tell you this and don't tweak out. And I went, oh my God, what happened? So she starts telling me, she's like, yeah, like, he's okay, like, he's fine. It's just, I just wanted to tell you. And I was like, well, do you want me to, like, come to the hospital? She's like, that's completely up to you. And I was like, bro, it's like a 90-mile drive. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
So I drove 2 hours there. I was there for, like, an hour. I was with him from, like, whenever he moved from the ER to, like, his room. And then we turned on the TV and it was some dumbass movie, too. And I was like, bro.
I will say,
like, it was just, I don't know,
the hospital taught me that there's definitely a reason Cable died.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I want to watch them. I love, like, Magnolia so much. I love you, Chip and Joanna. That might be controversial to say, but I love them. Love their network. But if you're airing the same show, like, all day, and then just similar variants of the same show all day, maybe we should switch it up. Also, whichever networks have the streaming rights or network rights or whatever to Modern Family, you need to play that during the day and not at like 3 a.m. and like 6 a.m. Because
like whenever they would play, like that George Lopez Nickelodeon show at like 6 o'clock in the morning every weekday. I was like, bro.
Like, okay, wait, let's finish your thing.
But
was your dad okay?
My dad's fine. He's completely fine now.
Okay,
he had good. It's like really hard to talk about. He fell off the roof of our house. He's completely fine.
Oh.
They airlifted him and he's just like, I don't want to be airlifted. Like, it's gonna be like $70,000.
I was gonna say that sounds expensive.
And like he was like, I don't want to do that. Like, but they were like, no, you need it. Like, we have to take you. Because, okay, this is what sucks. The hospital closest to my hometown is, like, a Band-Aid station. There's no Trauma 1 unit. Like, there's nothing. And Dayton Memorial was the closest Trauma 1 unit. So I was like, bro, there's no way.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, I was like, does IU Ball have Trauma 1? Because I was like, that one was a lot closer than Dayton, but whatever.
Yeah.
But
how far away is Dayton? From
here, it's like 2 hours. Dayton, Ohio.
Well,
yeah. But
there seems like there could have been a few that are closer, maybe.
I don't know, but I was just like, why? Like, why are you a hospital? Especially, it's Reed Hospital. So I'm like, why are you a hospital if you're not capable of taking every single patient, like Trauma 1 patients? There was one day, me and my mom got into a car accident right there in front of Reed. And that makes me think, like, what if the lady who was behind us, because it was a 3-car accident, so the truck hit the car behind me and my mom, and then that car flew forward and hit us, because I was going to turn around, because I went, oh my God, what was that? And my hand was on the dashboard, and we slammed forward. So then my whole arm hurt for, like, a little bit, but it went away.
Okay.
But I was if you're a hospital, then why can't you take everybody? If if I get heavily damaged in an accident and I have to go somewhere completely out of the way. But my dad was completely fine. Like, he's fine now. He's just got, like, a cut on his arm. But I was just like, and all these people are like, well, we don't really know what to do. Like, oh, we just want to make sure that your, like, head's okay. And he's like, I'm completely fine. But he had just, like, damaged, like, his tailbone a little bit. Oh. So he was going around being like, my butt hurts. But that was it. But Papa May is okay.
That's good.
He's completely fine. But I was just like, I don't know, like how you had mentioned earlier that there were some doctors and stuff who didn't know how to deal with diabetes stuff.
And they were supposed to know. That's like their job.
You are a doctor. It's the same thing with the hospital. If you cannot take trauma 1 patients, why are you there?
Exactly.
Because they tore down, I think the old hospital, please clock me if I'm wrong, I think the old hospital was a trauma 1 hospital and they tore it down because it was so old. But they tore it down and rebuilt this new hospital, which was Reed, and there's no trauma 1. I'm like, bro. And also, it feels like a luxury hotel. It doesn't even feel like a hospital until you get, like, into it and you're like, oh, this is a hospital. But, like, in the beginning, there's, like, a waterfall. There's a giant chandelier. I'm like, make this look like an insane asylum. Hello? I'm dying here. I don't want to be booked into heaven. Like, hello?
Going back to Modern Family for just, like, a second.
My fucking God.
I love that show so much. Mm-hmm. But, like, and, like, they didn't play enough sitcoms during the day on, like, cable. They don't. And that's, and, like, I couldn't mirror, like, stuff for my phone to the TV.
Yeah, because they've got it, like, canceled where you can't.
Yeah. They've got, like, a whole thing, which is so annoying. So I couldn't watch, like, I could have watched YouTube. But, like, I didn't, the way I was positioned, it was kind of just really awkward to try to, like, watch anything on my phone for, like, an extended period of time. Mm-hmm. And then, like, I was hooked up to all these things too, so even to, like, try to grab my AirPods from my pocket or something would be, like, extremely cumbersome.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even to, like, use the restroom, like, it was a whole process.
I'd only been in the hospital 1 time and I didn't even get, like, admitted. I just went back to one of the rooms and they, like, because I had broken my arm, so they, like, wrapped my arm up. I think it was this one. Yeah, because it was right-handed and was, like, I was writing like this because I couldn't write with my hand. But, like, it's just so complicated because you're like, okay, like, I'm stuck here.
Yes.
Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
That's how my dad was. He was, like, talking to my mom. He's like, Amber, I need your help. And she's like, okay, like, what do you need my help with? And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
like, covering up with a blanket because his arm was wrapped and this one was all taped up. And then they had, like, IVs hooked up and stuff like that. So it was just, like, so inconvenient. Because you're like, fuck, I'm stuck. Like, what do I do?
One quick note to the viewers who are watching this. The Jack camera did just die, and we don't have another battery for it. So that is the end of seeing close-ups of my face. So it's
not mine, though.
Yeah, the Kayce cam's still working. So anyway, but yeah, no, it was just, we were there like 3 days or whatever. It was a lot. I mean, and then, oh my goodness, too. So they started doing this thing where they draw my blood at like 2 a.m. And I think the first day I didn't know it was going to be a thing. I didn't know it was happening. Then like the second day, like they had told me it was going to be, no, I think it was the second day, maybe when I also like didn't know or something. I don't know. There was some point when I didn't know. And then like by the last night I was like, they had told me like, yeah, at 2 a.m. we're going to have to like draw your blood or whatever. So at that point, I was like, oh my goodness, like, I'm so scared. I don't want to go to sleep because I want to be, like, fully awake when this happens. Like, I'm so scared or whatever. But my mom was like, no, you need to go to sleep. Like, you need to go to sleep. So I did, and then I was awakened at 2 a.m. By not even, like, I don't think it was an actual nurse. I think it was like a nurse's assistant or something. I don't think this guy knew what he was really doing. He put the IV like right here or something, or like not the needle, like in my hand to draw the blood. It hurt so much and it was so terrible.
I've had to go to the doctor's office and get my blood drawn a few times. So it's like,
well, normally they can do it like in my veins.
They do mine like all the way up here.
Yeah, and like I had like all my other things there, so like they couldn't. It was so like.
The one time this girl was like, "You're my last person that I have to draw blood from before I'm like," before she was like officially certified.
Okay,
like she could draw my blood, but she was like, "I'm like still training," and I was like, "Okay, that's fine." Me and her, every time I go to the doctor's office, we're like this. Me, her, and my family doctor, we're all best friends. But there's another lady. Oh my god. Oh my god, she pisses me off so much. So before I would get my blood work done, I'm terrified of needles, which is crazy because I've got tattoos and stuff. But
same guys, except I can't be anymore.
Like I feel like a tattoo is different than a needle going inside of my body, because what the fuck. But she just sucks because yes, you are in charge of drinking enough water, because whenever I get my blood work done, I have to fast for 12 hours. Mm-hmm. So there's the next time I go get blood work done, I have to stop. I can't drink or eat anything other than water past 8 p.m. Like, that's it. And then I'll have to go at like 8 a.m. and get my blood work done. My doctor's like, I don't want you to do it super late in the day. That way you stop eating at 8 p.m. and you don't get to eat until like 4. And I'm like, well, I don't do that anyway. So like, whatever. But before I got my blood work done, my dad and my mom would talk about it because we all go to the same place.
Yeah.
And they were both like, there's this one girl and she sucks. Like she would probably stick a needle in and out of my dad at least 4 times before finding a vein.
Oh my goodness.
Because what they would do is they're supposed to tie a tourniquet around your bicep right here and then feel around for a vein.
Yeah.
And the first time I ever went to her, she's
That's
like...
just making me like fidgety just thinking about it. Like, oh.
It made me so tweaked out because they were like, oh, she'll take your blood. And I'm like, can anybody else do it? And of course, this is one of the times I went by myself. Because my mom was like, you're going to go in late to school and I'm going to go to work and your dad's going to go to work. And I was like, Mommy, can you go with me, please?
Exactly.
Like, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, like, you have to go by yourself. I have to go to work. And I'm like, fuck. So I get there. Whatever. They're like, she'll take you back. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I get back there and she's like, oh, I can't find it. And I literally said, before you stick this needle in and out of me 7 times, please keep looking for it. And she just looked at me and was like, are you dead ass? And I'm like, dead ass, girl. You're not going to stab me 85 times because you can't find it. Well, then finally, after like her 3rd try, she's like grabbing on my arm like this. She's like, I can't find it. And then she goes and then she's like, I'm just going to go get somebody else.
Yes.
They came in immediately, went, and then found it. And so I was like,
how did this woman get certified?
So now next time I go get my blood work done, if she's pulling my blood, I'm going to be pissed because I've got to get like 85 different things tested.
Oh my goodness.
Like my blood count, she's testing. I asked if she would test my PCOS and my thyroid just because like thyroid is something that runs like on the other side of my family. So I just want to make sure like it's not going to, creep in through like genetics or anything like that. Yeah. Diabetes, because I was told that I was probably pre-diabetic, and I think I am sometimes, because sometimes I'll be sitting in the kitchen at work with my hands on the table, and I'm like, ooh, I feel like shit, and I'm like I get a headache, my vision gets all blurry, and I'm like, ooh, and then I eat something, and I feel completely fine.
Oh, yeah, guys, by the way, too, if your, like, blood sugar is low, like, where you have too much insulin or whatever in your body, then, yeah, you start to feel, like, headache, like blurry vision. Yeah. I notice I become very like irritable, very everything just not fun to be around until I eat. It's not a state
that you want your body to be in because you're just like, oh fuck. No. And like I'm on the verge of either I think I'm gonna fall over and die or I'm gonna punch somebody in the face.
Exactly. And it's really not fun at like 3 a.m. or something, Yeah,
like whenever you get like the late night like
and then I have to wake up and or like, what was it? Like before I got my Omnipod, which is like my insulin pump, there would be some nights where I was waking up like 3 or 4 times because my blood sugar was low because I gave myself too much insulin or something. I don't know.
But it's just like.
But yeah, sorry to interrupt.
You're okay. But it's just like a big thing that I'm just like this isn't something like how we talked about in the first episode of the season. My dad went to school for phlebotomy, so like. Whenever he talks about it, I'm like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. And I've gotten to the point where, like, I'm afraid of getting, like, shots and stuff because I just can't. Like, watching the needle go into my skin, I can't do that. But once it's in there, I can sit there and watch the blood come out.
Oh, my. I
weird.
Can't.
I don't know.
I have to be there, like...
But, like, at first, I'm so nervous and I'm so tense. And the one time the girl did it, she was like, you gotta chill out. She's like, I know you're stressed out, but you gotta trust me. She's like, I promise, if we can't find your vein, you're just gonna have to redo it again tomorrow. And I was like, fuck, I don't want to do that either. But, no, like, being poked and prodded and being in the hospital, like, it's not fun. Like, it's just not fun.
Yeah, no.
But it's good that, like, you listen to your body.
Yes.
So, because, like, your body knows what's best for you sometimes until you have, like... What is it called? Oh, appendicitis. Whenever that little organ in your body that has no reason to fucking be there just explodes or some shit like that.
Oh my.
I've never had it, but like I've heard other people that have had it, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Going back to the hospital thing for just a minute. I do want to. If my mom is watching this, probably not. I don't think. I doubt she watches the show, but thank you for being there the entire time I was in the hospital.
Thank you, Mommy
3 days.
Ringenberg.
Yes, thank you. Because if I had been left there alone, I would have crashed out.
There would have been a moment where I would have been like, I need my mom and dad to leave for like an hour. Because I probably would have been on the verge of crashing out and just been like, can you guys leave for like 25 minutes?
No, because I was worried, like, if they left, that's like when a nurse or something would come in and they'd ask like some question I didn't know the answer to.
I'd be like,
like, I don't know. Well, my mom would, like, there would be times too when she'd like go walk around or whatever, like, to not be with me.
Yeah.
Which, totally valid.
I mean, because that's something like, it's like a life-changing disease.
Oh, for sure.
You don't want to, like, I understand, like, why your mom was crying at the time, because...
Oh, I do, too.
She's just like, oh,
No.
fuck, my son's life. Like,
Yeah,
oh my
no,
God.
I 100% get that.
But but that nurse being like, why are you crying?
Yeah.
That would have pissed me off.
No, that... Oh, my...
It's like hearing that your child has, like, cancer or something. You're just
Okay,
like,
hang
oh,
on. Actually,
fuck.
yeah, maybe it wasn't... That maybe wasn't exactly what the nurse said, but... She said something along those lines, and then at the same urgent care, I believe there was some other staff members who said similar stuff, like, what's wrong? Or it's like, what do you mean?
Like, what do you mean, what's wrong?
Yeah. Oh, and then they also, like, incorrectly diagnosed me at the urgent care with type 2 diabetes only because I was, like, over the age of 18. And it's like, and then my mom basically told them, no, you're wrong. Like look at the symptoms,
we
dude.
know, like,
yeah, look at the symptoms. And then I also want to thank, I believe her name was Jenna. She was the diabetes educator there at the hospital. She talked to us for like 3 hours or something. She was the only person, I think, in that entire hospital who knew anything about
exactly
diabetes.
what she was talking
I believe she, I think her daughter had type 1, and I think she might have had it too. Or she might have had, I think she had type 1 or type 2. If I doubt she's watching that. She's never probably going to see this. But she had like some, I believe she had some type of diabetes. I know for sure her daughter did. And then my endocrinologist also has type 2. So that's why I'm getting, I think, kind of confused. But this is a different endocrinologist now than the one at the hospital. This person is actually good and she knows stuff. But anyway, yeah, Jenna at the hospital, love you. You were so helpful. You made me feel confident to leave there like I knew what I was doing. She explained carb counting to me. She explained how to give myself like insulin shots. She helped me put on my first CGM, which is a continuous glucose monitor, like the Dexcom I'm wearing right now. But at the time, all they had at the hospital was like Libres. So that's another brand, and I wore that. So that's my diabetes story, guys.
Yeah.
So that was my summer, and I thought it couldn't get worse from there. And I wouldn't say it really did, but I don't know. In some ways, second semester has been
2026 will be our year. Okay?
Yeah, for real. I know we're like an hour and a half into the show.
We literally said, "Oh, this is
we
gonna
said
be a 30-minute
we said this is gonna be like a
episode.
30-minute episode. Nope, guys.
It actually turned into an hour of Jack giving us
Yeah.
Dr. Maria information.
Oh my goodness, when you get me started talking about like these, like everything I'm talking about in this episode is like the 3 big things that have happened to me this
Yeah.
year. This third one's gonna be a lot more like vague, but you know, yeah. So the first, you know, going into the second semester with diabetes and navigating that, you know, was already its own challenge, and you know, then the I'm still living in the dorms, and so the dorm room we were living in this year was smaller than last year, and
Living in the same building, by the way.
living in the same building, and we were sharing like a communal bathroom, which that's its own thing. I don't hate it, but it wasn't. Last year we had our own private bathroom, and we were a little bit spoiled with that. And so
Because nobody lived on the other side.
yeah, no one lived. Well, no, it was just like literally our own private bathroom. Like there was, it wasn't even a Jack and Jill thing.
Oh, period.
Like it was just so nice. But so that was like beginning of semester. Well, I guess semester 3, like my third semester here, first semester of my sophomore year. And then there was some stuff that happened.
Some stuff.
Yeah, some stuff that happened. And then by like a few months ago, like, well, you know, all my classes too, like, they're just all, I only have like 2 in-person classes, but I have all these dumb online ones, but then the 2 in-person ones are like, they're stupid too.
Oh
like,
my god, I didn't even think about like my online classes, because they only have one in-person
Yeah.
class. I had this professor,
Uh-huh.
and she had sent me an email one day. I had like a steady B in her class. I was doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially for an online class that really made no fucking sense.
Yeah.
But she had emailed me and was like, I want you to know that you have so much outstanding work in my class. The whole point of ethics, because it was an ethics class, she was like, the whole point is to learn how to be a part of the solution and not part of the problem, which you currently are.
That's crazy.
And I read that email, and I literally, like, I was already having a bad day at that, and my roommate and I both work at the same place. So he had asked me if I would take him with me, and I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. So I leave the house. I don't grab any of my shit. I literally just have my keys, my phone, and my wallet. That's it. Because I usually have my little apron and my server's book. I didn't have that. I didn't even have a bag. Like, I just had all my shit. I brought my laptop, too, because I was just like, I don't really know what to do. We walk into, like, the place that we work, and I'm literally just a fucking train wreck. I get up to the host stand, I set all my shit down, I'm telling my coworker, who's also a criminal justice major, about everything, and she's just like, oh my god, yeah, like, I know who you're talking about. So I show her this email, and I hadn't even responded yet, because I didn't know what to say. Yeah. And I look out in the parking lot, and I think I see somebody who I know, so then I start crying.
I remember you telling me this story.
It's the evil man, I think that it's his truck, and I'm literally sitting there, and I'm like,
that's so terrible.
So then I have to tell the host and the other server about why I'm standing there sobbing, and they're just like, I'm sorry, girl. Like I'm literally just like, but I made like $100 that night, so I'm not gonna complain.
That's so nice.
But I responded to that professor, and I was like, well, where are they? Like, where? Okay, so she uploaded journals.
Yeah.
So the whole thing that you had to do was respond to the prompt.
Oh my goodness, yes, I remember you telling me this. It's so stupid, guys.
And then a graduate student would respond to you, and then you had to respond to them back, and that was it. I don't know why you had to respond to the graduate student once they already responded to you, but whatever, I don't fucking care. So I emailed her, and I was like, where are they? No, I emailed her first and was like, okay, I'll get them done whenever I get off of work tonight. I get home, I tell my roommate who I had brought in had already left. So he went home, I get home, and all three of us are sitting on our front porch. And I looked at my other roommate, and she, like, knows a lot of shit. Like, she's very smart. And I was like, listen, what do you think I should do? Like, do you think I should drop this class? Do you think I should just wing it out? Like, whatever. So she's like, let me see your phone. And she's looking through the emails. She's reading that email, and she's like, I really think that that's a shitty thing to say, but if you can just get them done now, then that's fine. And I was like, okay. So she's trying to find them on my phone. She can't. She's like, let me see your laptop. So I give her my laptop. She's looking for them. And it is so hard to find these fucking things.
Well, wasn't there something, too, where they were, like, optional or something like that?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you
like,
had
you
said
had
that
to do them.
Or, like, she was getting on... I'm sorry. I'll let you tell the story.
She was just being a bitch.
Yeah.
So she finds the journals, and I'm looking through them, and I'm like, I've already got 2 of these done. Like, I already have 2 out of the 4 that she's only posted, because she doesn't have them, like, posted on Canvas. They're just, like, there. Like, oh, you have to do these journals, but I'm not going to tell you how the fuck to find them.
Yeah.
So then I'm looking through her syllabus. First, my roommate reads the syllabus. And then she goes to look for them. And she's looking at the syllabus, and she's like, okay, so this is a syllabus for, like, an in-person class. This was an online class, so I don't know where the fuck, because it was, like, do an exit ticket, do this, do that. And I'm like, I'm not sitting in a classroom. Like, I'm sitting on my ass in my bed. Like, what do you want me to do? So, oh my god, it just made me so mad. So, I look at the journals, I'm like, okay, well, I already have 2 of these done. I responded to the 2 other ones that night. I responded to the graduate students, everything. I did everything she asked. I emailed her back, and I literally said, I think that it's so inconsiderate that you want me to do these so bad and make them so hard to find. Sorry, girl. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm not gonna sit here and let you talk shit like me to that. Like,
exactly.
Talk about me like that. So she emailed me back, and she's like, I'm so sorry. Like, that's not the impression I tried to give off. And I was like, girl, I don't care, bitch. You already did it. Like, you already did it. Yeah. You already emailed me, and you already pissed me off. We're done. So I ended up I had a call with my academic advisor, because we were supposed to have a meeting, but then I canceled because I was sick. And she was like, okay, tell me what's going on. So I told her everything. She's like, do you just want to drop that class? She's like, I'm not going to tell you not to. She's like, you don't need it. I love my academic advisor from last year, Gavin. If for whatever reason you're watching this, I love you so much. But bro, you have fucked me over twice now by putting me in every single geography class that you could have possibly thought of whenever I was a meteorology major. It was like, I know that I'm the one that signs up for classes, but he was the one that was like, I think you should take this, and this class. And I was like, okay. So I'm taking Geography 101, 150, and 251. Killing myself. And then I ended up having a talk with him, and he's like, yeah, you don't need this class. You don't have to take it.
Oh, my goodness.
Really no shit. So then I'm sitting with my advisor now, like, this was like a month after our phone call. And she's like, yeah, I don't know why Gavin put you in that class, because you didn't need it. So in the summer, I had to change my degree from a bachelor's in criminal... What's the 2-year one? Associates? I had to change it from an associate's degree to a bachelor's degree with a concentration in something. In order to take Math 125. I don't know. I don't know. So I was an associate's degree in criminal justice and criminology. Now I'm a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and criminology with a concentration in family psychology studies or some shit. Well, she told me on the phone, she said, if you were to take the general concentration, which is literally just general, it has no family and psychology studies, no fancy bullshit. It was just general. Yeah. She said, if you were to take that, you'd have to take that class with that professor and take more classes with her. She's like, oh my goodness. And then she goes, do you want to switch? And I went, fuck no. And she goes, honestly, I understand. But then we're sitting in her office and she goes, yeah, I don't really know why Gavin put you in these classes if you don't need them. I'm like, I love you, Gavin, but what the fuck? Yeah. But it was just, oh my God. And then another professor I have, which is a professor I have right now, gives no clear instructions on her speeches. She sent out an email today that was like, if you guys do my course evaluations, you'll get extra credit points. Oh, honey, I did it. You're not going to fucking like it, but I did it. Which That's was so real. No clear instructions. There's no information provided. You do not answer your emails in a timely manner. I emailed her over Thanksgiving break. It was that Thanksgiving break hadn't even started yet. It was still that Monday and she was already on leave. She had already left. That's her email said away. So I was like, stop. Girl, you still got class tomorrow. Yeah. So whatever. So I
understand if you're a student and you're leaving on Monday, but if you are a teacher, you need to be here on Monday and Tuesday. At least responding to your emails.
Wednesday, you can stop. Yeah. If I email you past Wednesday, you can tell me to go fuck right off. But I emailed you before that. So somebody, I don't know what you want me to say. So I had emailed her and she's never answered me. She didn't even grade the assignment that I sent her. And I did email her and I said, listen, I understand that being lazy is not an excuse. I was like, but I do apologize because that's exactly what was going on. I was like, I also was just going through it. I remember that same day that the professor had emailed me and told me I was a part of the problem. I was trying to submit a different assignment and for whatever reason I hit submit and it literally fucking disappeared. So I literally gave her a 1-sentence answer and said, I'm so sorry. I had so much more of this typed up and it just disappeared. I understand if you don't give me full credit. And she's just like, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. I told her, I was like, I'm literally just going through it right now. And then she privately emailed me and sent me counseling resources. And I emailed her back. That's nice. Yeah, I was like, I do appreciate it, but I want you to know personally, I'm not going to kill myself. I just had a bad day. Yeah. She's like, I completely understand. Thank you for reaching out. And I was like, yeah, of course. But I was just like, how are these people professors if you don't answer your fucking email? Yeah. I was like, I can't do anything if you don't fucking answer me. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, oh my God. I'll stay online classes because next semester I take one online class. All my other classes are in person.
I'm taking half my classes online next semester. It's going to be an experience.
But like I said, I'm taking more in-person classes next semester, so I'm going to not want to do it. It's not that I don't like taking in-person classes. It's just I live off of campus, so it's coming onto campus to have to go to class. But hopefully Mommy and Daddy will get me a commuter pass for Christmas because that's literally all I've asked for. And yes, I only live 5 minutes away, but it'd be nice for whenever I would come to campus for my classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I would drive because it was so cold. I didn't want to walk or walk to a bus because it was so fucking cold. Mm-hmm. I did that today and this was all I was wearing, which was a dumb move. I should have worn a jacket. But it wasn't too bad. But again, there are those days where it's going to be 9 degrees. Yeah. What the fuck? Because I remember walking from class to classes from my dorm and it was worse. It was terrible. I was like, this is fucking awful. I hate it. But I don't know. Like, I know that it's going to be the death of me.
Yeah.
Coming to class, because I have classes every single day on campus. Goodness. So but I told my academic advisor, I was like, I don't want a class later than 4 p.m.
Yes.
Like, I want to be able to go to work at 4 p.m. Like that. But other than that, I'm chill. She was like, okay, that's fine. But I love my academic advisor this year because she keeps it so real. Like, Gavin was always like, oh, let's maybe, like, take a step back. But there was a few points where he's like, I'm going to tell you this straight up, which is what they're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
There was at one point, I don't know if it was him or a different advisor was sitting in on our talk because he wanted to or whatever. But they were like, IV Tech's a lot cheaper. So, and they told me this year that if I wanted to take online classes, go take them IV Tech because they're a lot cheaper. I took 2 summer classes this summer and they were $2,000.
So we might be giving College Life Unscripted next season from Ivy Tech.
Literally. No. I'm going to say at Ball State, but I'm probably going to take a summer class because, like, it's just, it's easy.
For sure. So we're almost done, guys. Don't worry. We are going to quickly do Spotify Wrapped in a minute, and we'll talk about Jack Ringenberg Media stuff in this season, kind of. But anyway, so back to my story. So then there was some stuff that just kind of happened in the middle of the semester, and then a lot of other stuff happened in the middle of the semester, which kind of all resulted in some poor mental health the past few weeks.
It was crazy. We were literally through it together, so.
Yeah, so, like, oh my goodness, if you would have asked me, like, how are you, like, doing, like, literally before I left for Thanksgiving break last Friday, I would have told you, like, guys, like, I'm
going to tweak out.
But, you know, this week at least, and, like, knowing that we only have, like, one more full week left and it's finals week and I don't really have any in-person finals, I've actually kind of been okay this week, which first time in a while that I can say that. So it's the little wins, guys. Oh, yeah, by the way, we're recording this, like, before finals week, but I guess it's going to come out Friday of finals week. So hopefully you all did well in your finals. Okay, now let's transition to talking about Jack Ringenberg Media stuff, like what we want for going forward and what has been this semester.
Yes. So as you guys have seen, our schedule for this semester has been a little out of whack.
Yes.
It really has. But because, as you saw today, Jack was joining us because Brianna couldn't be here. Also because she has very different, like, schedule contrasting as, like, compared to him or me. But our goal, at least my personal goal anyway, next semester is to get more episodes out and rolling for you guys because this is going to sound one of those things where I said at the beginning of the podcast where it sounds like full of myself, but I love hearing your guys' feedback just because I was talking to somebody on campus one day and they were like, oh my God, I love those TikToks that you guys make for your podcast. And I was like, thanks. Specifically to Jack, but thanks.
I love that.
But and it just sucks not being able to put out content for you guys because I know there are people back home, like in my hometown, they're like, I love watching your podcast. You guys are so fun. And I'm just like, I'm sorry that we don't really put out much. Like, the last episode we put out was, I'm just going to say it, we literally had that episode held back for like almost 3 months. Like,
and there was a certain second half to it that a certain producer was supposed to schedule. And that didn't happen.
But yeah, like, I just feel bad because we aren't putting out a lot of content for people to watch. And if you guys remember last semester, like, this was not as advanced as it is because we would literally just film the podcast and upload it. But now we have it, like, recorded on, like, that cam or Jack's dead cam.
Yeah.
And, like, now you guys see us, so it's a lot more, like, fun. But, like, low-key, I kind of like doing just the older style without filming, but that was just me. But this obviously adds a lot more content for you guys to watch because we act like fucking morons behind this camera.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, you guys just see it, like, in this hour and a half or hour 15, like, episode. But this took, like, a week for us to come together and finally
to coordinate.
Do
this. We've been wanting to film our, like, end of the year episode for a hot minute.
But like I said, it's hard doing it with, like...
It made it out of the group chat, though.
It made it out of the group chat. But it just schedule contrasting, and then, like, Rihanna said that she had felt sick, so obviously I wasn't going to be like, no, you have to fucking be here. Like, obviously I get it. There was that one episode with John and Rihanna that I was there. I just didn't want to film.
Yeah.
But I had went. But I also did.
Yeah,
feel like
hang
ass.
on, guys. While we're revealing like behind the scenes information about the show, that episode, the first one that you all saw that John was in was actually the second one we filmed that he was in, and the one that came out.
So our
episode
most
7, the most
Yes.
recent episode. That's not this episode. The one where he talks about Emmons. That was actually the first one. He was
because
in.
John even noted, he's like, people are gonna watch that episode and be like, did his hair grow that quickly?
Yeah.
Because the first episode with me and John, that last one where we talked about Emmons, was literally like the second episode we ever filmed.
That was
And then the John and
Yeah.
Brianna episode was the third one.
That was the first time I ever met John, and he just kind of showed up and he was talking about Emmons.
Because Rihanna was like,
Rihanna wasn't Rihanna supposed to be there, but then
Rihanna was supposed to, and then something
Yeah.
came up, so John was like, I'll do it, and I was like, okay, that's fine. But no, it's just a lot of schedule contrasting, so
yes.
but we will be working on that for next semester for you guys, because we want to, I personally want to produce more content.
Yeah.
So.
And just on a Jack Ringenberg Media like level thing, thank you to everyone who's watched the show this year. Obviously, like Kayce said, it means the world to us. This podcast, obviously, it's crazy to think we've started it almost a year ago now. It's been so fun to work on these past like
And it was an
9 months
idea
or whatever.
in
Yeah,
our English
it
class.
was literally an idea in our English class that we had, and it's crazy to see what it's become now. Where we had a crew of 4, like it just started with 2, and then it was 4, and
Because for the longest time, it was just me and Jack.
Yeah.
And then Rihanna would show up sometimes, and then it became the 3 of us, and then it became the 4 of us.
Yeah. And thank you also to everyone who tuned in to the other Jack Ringenberg Media podcast that we launched this year, Balls, a sports show. Unfortunately, that episode or that show didn't make it past the like 2-episode pilot that we greenlit for it, and that was really disheartening to me. But doing 2 shows just ended up being a little too much
of Jack's time, because he does go to school and has a job.
Yeah, I think I did a little like vlog when I was editing the first episode of the show, and I think when I finished editing, I said something to the effect of, "That was terrible. I never want to do that again, but I have to do it next week."
So it's been now like 2 days, over 24 hours, a little over 24 hours since I started editing this. It's crazy. It's finally done. It's 40 minutes. Never want to do this again, but I'm going to have to do it next week. So, yeah, there's that.
And looking back at that, I realized that there was no world in which Balls, the sports show, and College Life Unscripted could coexist together, and they could both be up to the production level that I wanted it to be.
Because it was so like, yeah, we could do collab episodes, but like about what?
And what we had talked about too was doing like live episodes for Balls, the sports show, to make the production turnaround time shorter. But feasibly, that wasn't really like an option.
Yeah.
And then something else we were doing was like and this is where I wish we wouldn't have done this. We moved College Life Unscripted to bi-weekly to accommodate for Balls being weekly, but then Balls didn't become weekly.
Balls became like bi-monthly.
Yeah. Well, we only ever released 2 episodes, and then there was a whole thing too where like
me and Jack got into a fight.
What?
I texted Jack and I was very angry.
Yeah, and that was yeah.
But it was okay. We got that all figured out, and like this is.
Yeah, I just, something I've learned this year too is it's okay to like not like get it, like it's okay to fail, not that I'm not saying Balls failed. I mean, if we had kept it going, it would have actually like the numbers.
I feel like it would have caught like the community,
yes,
like the sports community of Ball State. 100%.
The numbers it was pulling in were better than I expected for the first 2 episodes. And I mean, you should have seen the number. You would be shocked by the number of views it was getting like on like Spotify. Like I was shocked by that. So, like, it was just, I think it really could have worked in the long run, but it just wasn't feasible. And we had a big production crew there, and if you are any of them watching, I am so sorry that we had to cancel the show. It was also a situation of it was very much there was stuff that was out of my control that very, very much led to the cancellation of it. Because I do think I would have had these things that were outside of my control not happened. I think I probably would have fought a little bit harder to keep it around, or not been so like adamant that I don't think realistically this is going to work. But I think it's okay because I tried to launch a sports show like when I was in high school too, and that didn't work. And then I thought that was because like, well, there was like footage stuff going on there where we like filmed it wrong or something. So I thought like we'd try that again. But what I learned was like, you know, one, it didn't fit into the Jack Ringenberg Media brand in the way I wanted it to. So we had talked about that, like the producers and I, and we were going to reinvent the show. So it was going to be like a little less timely and a little more timeless. We were going to focus on kind of the stories of the like players and stuff, and it was going to be cool. And they were going to more kind of, I guess, a little bit more aligned with what Sports Link kind of does. But
like sit and have a conversation.
Yeah, sit and have a conversation. But you know, the outside factors played into that, and like it's like who's gonna edit this? Because like I physically I can't like
because trying to do College Life Unscripted and balls and go to school and
Yeah,
I see it from an outside perspective because it's hard on Jack obviously, and he just told you guys like
it was too much.
He's also got diabetes. So,
yeah, I do,
like,
guys. But no, I think it was taking a toll on my relationships with everyone around me and my mental health, and I realized that the show was not good for me. Even though it might have been good for the company in the long run, I realized that it was probably in the best interest to let it be canceled. And to all the fans of the show, I'm really sorry about that. To the crew, I'm so sorry about that. And yeah. Okay, so now we are going to super quickly, we're almost at 2 hours now, but we promised it. We're going to go to Spotify Rap. We're going to do a speed run here. Okay, so who's your top artist?
My top artist was fucking Justin Timberlake.
Okay, my top artist, I thought it was going to be Taylor Swift, but no, it was Bleachers, which is Jack Antonoff's like band. And Jack
I know
Antonoff.
Bleachers. Yes.
I love Bleachers. They've been my top artist since like 2021 or something like that, like consistently every year. But I love Bleachers so much. And for those of you who don't know, Jack Antonoff is like one of the biggest music producers in like the music industry right now. He's worked with like Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor Swift, I think Gracie Abrams. He worked with Kendrick Lamar at one point recently. So, and then my second top artist was Taylor Swift.
Mine was Justin Timberlake, Tyler the Creator, Rihanna, Kendrick Lamar, and then Beyonce. But my top song was TV Off by Kendrick Lamar.
My top song was Roller Coaster by Bleachers, which is like my favorite song ever. Guys, this has been my top song, I think, for the past like few years consistently. It's so good. Oh my goodness. Love that. Okay, sorry guys.
I listened to 2,528 songs this year, but
it went... How many minutes of music did you listen to?
38,779.
Ooh, that's more than me. I listened to 22,075 minutes.
Yeah. But mine was TV Off by Kendrick Lamar, Mirrors by Justin Timberlake, Do I Want to Know by the Arctic Monkeys, Champagne Coast, which is, oh my god, don't even get me started on Champagne Coast, because I heard this song by Blood Orange for the first time in September or October of last year. So this is where like the first mental breakdown I ever had started, but Champagne Coast is always like that song where I'm like, I hear it and it's such a comforting song because I'm like, okay, because there's a part where the beat drops and it reminds me of like when my life first started like changing, because it sounds so cringy whenever I say it like that.
Yeah.
But like whenever I was in high school, I didn't like go through anything, like nothing, but like I get to college and I'm like, holy shit, this happened and it sucks. Like, but that's what that song reminds me of, and every time I hear it, I fall in love with it, and nobody else knows that song like I do. Oh. And then Headlock by Imogen, but I don't know why that one is there.
Kayce, what was your top podcast?
My top podcast was College Life Unscripted.
Okay, guys, so I don't actually have Spotify. I use Apple Music, so I don't know what my top podcast was. It probably was, in terms of like listening to, it was, in terms of, Well, maybe it wasn't College Life Unscripted because I've listened to a lot of podcasts this
Fake.
year.
No.
But Jack Ringenberg Media content, I've listened to a lot of it. The amount of times I've heard some of these College Life Unscripted episodes, because what I do is I'll listen 3 times, or I'll listen to it like 3 times. I'll have the initial conversation here, like I'll listen to that. Then I'll go through and edit it, and then I'll do a proof listen too. And then sometimes I used to do this more when it was like just audio, but like sometimes I'll listen like on Apple Music too, or Apple Podcasts or whatever. But I don't do that as much anymore. Okay. So you said your top podcast was College Life Unscripted. I actually have some stats about the College Life Unscripted podcast. None of them are really too interesting, but
because like we didn't use College Life Unscripted other than for uploading or anything.
Well,
I mean, unless if you
because people listen on Spotify, so I can see the Spotify like stats for that.
Yeah.
So here's the most interesting thing that they had. They can tell you the top audiobooks that the people who listen to your show listen to. Y'all, this is so interesting. Number 1 was Icebreaker by Hannah Grace.
Oh my God.
Number 2 was I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. Number 3 was The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. And then Ring Shortcut. Ring Shout. Guys, I'm sorry. I promise I can read. And I've never heard of that one. But oh my goodness, guys. Who's listening to Icebreaker and I'm Glad My Mom Died and The Summer I Turned Pretty? Like,
literally, who are you?
I think that's so awesome. I think this clearly defined our target audience or who is listening. I have a very good mental picture now of the type of person who listens to the podcast. And I think I love that for Spotify for including that. So yeah. Do we get through everything?
I think so.
Okay. Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening or watching the show today. Thank you for watching for this past year. It's been an incredible journey. I can't wait to come back next semester with the second half of season 2. It's going to be great. Hopefully our mental health will be better. 2026 is going to be our year.
Hopefully we won't be mentally ill.
Yeah. I'm manifesting success. I'm already feeling better about 2026 than 2025, because
100%.
2026 is like a nice even number. 2025 is like an odd number. Like, it's like the one thing that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were talking about on New Heights that one time, like the number system, numeric, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know, where like numbers have a meaning or something. I don't really know. Yeah. Anyway, Kayce is not a Taylor Swift fan.
I'm not. Neither am I a
guys.
Travis Kelce fan because he plays for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. And make sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. I love our YouTube channel so much. And if you liked this episode, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment too. How is your 2025? Was it good? Was it bad? It probably was. Maybe it was worse than like ours. It probably was. I don't know. 2025 has been a bad year for a lot of people, I feel like.
Yeah.
And also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all those places. And we will see you in 2026.
Yay!
Bye.
College Life Unscripted is a production of Jack Ringenberg Media. This episode was produced and edited by me, Jack Ringenberg. The episode was also produced by Kayce May. For more Jack Ringenberg Media content, visit us online at jackringenberg.com. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you again next year.
I am about to crash out.
The views and opinions expressed in this episode belong to the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of Jack Ringenberg Media or the employers of the individuals.